Okay, now this is my second session that combined with the other session completes a full body, and then like I say, I do these sessions twice a week, twice each, so that I hit like every body part twice a week basically. I start off with deadlifts. This is my stance is I'd classify it as sumo, but my hands are a lot wider than a conventional sumo stance. Now I've been doing this sumo stance just to focus on my glutes a bit more because they were definitely weak, even though conventional suits me more. Um, but my sumo stance, based on because the barbell that I use isn't actually that long, so I can't go super wide as what you'd expect to see in a sumo stance. So it's kind of a intermediate stance, I'd say. But I've been liking it. Definitely good to get that more glute activation than obviously you hardly get any with a conventional stance. But yeah, no butt drive off the floor. It looks like that's definitely something I work on, like pulling the barbell off the floor. That's a cue for me that seems to work to stop your hips shooting up before. Um, yeah, just to have a better movement. Moving on to bench, I do a bit of a ritual with where I place my pinkies on the bar, just so I'm set up consistently every time. But then getting a decent arch, well, somewhat of an arch in, and retracting my shoulder blades. But like I say with this barbell, I don't know if this would be considered well, this is pretty much as wide as I can go on this barbell, but it might not even be considered a wide stance. But I guess I have quite long arms, so my range of motion has to be pretty significant. On the last couple of reps, I do often go a bit short on the range of motion. Like that was 6 reps when I got 7 on the previous one, and I wasn't too happy with that. Now moving on to the first superset of my this session. This is doing skull crushers and then Nordics. Watching this back, it's clear that I know my left arm's stronger, so you see more of a bend in the right arm on the way up, just because I feel like it's struggling. Yeah, I feel like yeah, probably go back to the drawing board with that, like reduce the weight and try and fix that out of me. But it might be the case that yeah, maybe more different tricep work would be able to fix that. But yeah, moving straight on to Nordics. This is something knees over toes guys are always talking about, and it's a hamstring exercise I can do at home. Obviously, there's a lot of gym equipment where you basically do the same movement pattern, but this is how I do it. I weigh down the bench and then wedge my legs between like 2 mats basically. Now rather than doing like a full Nordic where you control it on the way down and then pull yourself back up, I prefer to give myself a bit of a push off the ground each time, just to get more reps in and get more of a pump, I'd say. Because I might be able to do two or three proper Nordics, but then my time under tension is going to be a lot lower. So I prefer to like kick off the ground basically. But for the top range of motion after pushing off the ground, it's still a big squeeze in the hamstrings to lock it out basically. So it's not like you're doing nothing. Then hip thrust also to, like I said, with my glutes being weaker, this is definitely something I've been focusing on and only really reintroduced it recently. Yeah, watching it back, my range of motion I'm not going down as far as I wanted, but I've definitely been cueing that now that I've like reviewed the footage basically. Bit of a pause at the top each time just to squeeze the glutes in that bridge position. But yeah, it's definitely a great exercise for sure. I've been supersetting it with just with calf raises. Yeah, it just makes intuitive sense. Just somewhere to place your calf work in. I feel like I have generally quite strong calves, maybe overly strong, but it's definitely something that worth working on, I guess. again, watching this back, it might be the case that I should hold the position at the top a bit more, but when I'm doing it, it feels good, but it's probably a bit more of a pump work rather than I guess I could extend the range of motion a bit more, but you know. Incline bench, I only do 3 sets of this rather than the 4 sets for pretty much every other exercise, and that's just because when I hit my body parts with 2 different exercises in each session, and the 2 primary chest exercises they're both really high fatigue, being regular bench and incline bench. So I prefer to, and I do this as a superset with flies as well. So I only do 3 sets rather than the 4. Dragging it down my belly, not the most comfortable, but it's and then, like I said, superset with these flies. It's it's definitely a interesting one. Real fucking pump by the end. Not managing to keep the same ideal reps for each one. Like on this one I got the 10 and 15, but on the last one I dropped down a little bit. But you really see me squeezing for these last reps to get that 15. It's a bit hard to watch it back, to be honest. Well, it's good, to be honest. Just shows you working hard, and like I said, this is the week 4, so the end of my mesocycle. So I'm aiming for that RPE 10 on pretty much every exercise. I do go a bit short on. I've written down what I thought it was during the session, and for some of the exercises like the hip thrust, just because it's more new exercise, like I was more aiming for the rep range, so I didn't classify as hitting RPE 10 on like every exercise sort of thing. Now this is the last superset I do. It's good mornings and ring dips. This one's another one that I've reintroduced recently, so I've not been going super heavy on it, not been super pushing myself, I'd say. But yeah, it's just a nice posterior chain supplement to just doing deadlifts. Just trying to really feel the stretch of it. I'm not sure. Definitely the belt is really nice, and it can. Without the belt, like, you'd be using a lot of your back, but I'm preferring just to get that real stretch down the back of the legs rather than trying to use my back to stabilize it. But I'm not sure. It might be the case that people never don't use a belt in good mornings. I'm not sure. I feel like it might be the case where people say you're not using a belt in good mornings, you're absolutely psychopath or something. But yeah, moving on to dips. Now dips, it's an exercise where I'd really like to be good at. I think it's a great exercise, but for me personally, I've had a lot of wrist issues with it, so I haven't been able to push it very far, and technique's pretty poor. And yeah, I'm struggling with not too many body weight dips compared to like my pull up. It's like kind of ridiculous how poor my dip is. But hopefully I'll be able to sort out my wrist issues and be able to go try and go heavy and start doing some weighted dips. That'd be really nice to see, to be honest. But yeah, big long session. You gotta check out the pump cover, and there's only one person you can compare it to, yourself, obviously, not Crystal. But yeah, overall decent session. Not as consistent as the previous, as the first workout of the week. Like that workout, I pretty much hit the same target reps for every set, whereas this one there was that fall off with some of the later sets, but that's something you'd expect to happen, sort of thing. But yeah, overall that's good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and see you later.